Welcome back to Making Me Watch Movies. The movie you're making me watch today is Vanilla Sky, made in 2001 by who, Jake?
Cameron Crowe.
Wait, we already did a Cameron Crowe.
That's okay, I guess. It's fine.
Right on, starring Steven Spielberg. What is your haiku?
Nope.
Yes,
Spielberg was in this movie.
Shit, right. Not starring. That's a big word.
You're right.
Featuring.
Yeah, like a rap
Semantics.
album. Who's got haikus?
I got a haiku.
Jake Schwartz? Jake Schwartz? Schwartz, you got a haiku?
I got a haiku.
Go Schwartz.
Yeah, let's hear it, Schwartz.
Illusions unravel. A sky of shifting dreams falls. Truth blurs the dawn.
Sick.
That's a good one.
That's a beautiful haiku.
That's a good one.
It's like deep, but not deep at all.
It's pretty deep. It was so deep
That's
I
what
could
she said.
see it.
You want me to go?
Yeah, go ahead, Jake.
He loved her to bits. Beautiful eyes, better tits, simulation shits.
God damn it. I wish I would have gone before you because I can't follow that.
You say beautiful eyes, better tits?
That's right.
That's good.
That's my second line.
Because she is beautiful. She is absolutely gorgeous.
And goddamn, that tastes nice. But Anthony, I bet you're just good.
Yeah. All right. My haiku is: Sin a argenteuil loves a fleeting, fragile gleam. It was all a dream.
Good one. What's the first thing you said? Was it the title of the original movie?
It was a title of the painting, the Monet painting that Vanilla Sky was named after.
Nice.
Seen at the Argenteuil.
Nice.
I said
That's
it
cool.
in French though because it was French.
Yeah,
I think that's probably the best haiku in the history of the show.
Wow.
Wow.
You hear that, Ray Ray?
It was all a dream.
Ray Ray's it was all a dream.
Yeah.
Spoiler. All right. Who picked it? Jake Schwartz. Jake Schwartz.
This was a Schwartzy pick.
I picked this movie. It's a
Should we
good
just
movie.
rate it right off the bat?
Sure.
I like talking through first, because then
Alright.
like you change.
You might change the rating, yeah.
It's true. Or we
100%.
could do it at the end and the beginning.
You're a flip flop. Oh yeah, that's true. Give it a beginning rating and an end rating.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we already know. Well, yeah, all right.
But
Maybe
the
something
discussions,
duels.
Yeah.
sometimes the discussion
Yeah.
changes me.
Okay.
It's happened.
right,
Not always,
Anthony,
but
rate
it
it.
definitely happens sometimes.
Go.
5-9.
Anthony. Okay. Jake.
5-9's a good one. I think 7.
I'm gonna go 7-5.
All right, solid.
All right.
What's this movie about? Why is it so good? Why'd you make us watch Vanilla Sky?
I mean, all those questions will be answered. First question: what's this movie about? This movie is about a really rich dude played by Tom Cruise. His name in the movie is David Ames, and he is the heir to like fortune of money and owns
Like a magazine
newspaper.
empire,
Yeah, like a newspaper conglomerate. They like own magazines and they do all kinds of like consumer fucking shit. And he runs it. He says in the movie he's 33 when he starts out. And he's like the generic fucking rich kid who does whatever he wants whenever he wants. He breezes through life, thinks his shit don't stink. He just happens to be like Tom Cruise, so he's got the world by the balls. He's got the looks, he's got the great teeth, he's got it all.
You got that
in the
center
movie
tooth, though.
I mean, it's pretty nice. That smile.
Like how it just opens with him like being hot, walking around, takes his shirt off,
was
plucks
the
his
whole
hair,
time-
giving a look.
The whole time I was like, what is
Hot
this? Just like,
cruise.
just this hot cruise 101 right here? Like, why do I mean, I kind of get it once shit goes down, but
Yeah. I'll
live
say
it
this.
up.
I'll say it early on. That was the one flaw of this movie is like the narcissism of that main character kind of bothers me throughout. He doesn't really like overachieve it. I don't.
He doesn't
think.
change. He
He
doesn't
doesn't
change.
overachieve it.
He doesn't. I guess he doesn't change because of it. He doesn't get over it. I don't know what the words I just used were, but you know what I'm saying.
Well,
Doesn't-
he only gets over it because he's forced to with what happens to him.
pretty much.
Yeah,
But go on.
Well, not. Yeah, but he tried not to.
100%. He tried to take the easy way out. Yeah, but so you don't like it because you don't think he changed. That's why.
Not I guess at the very end there was like an act of bravery, but like even while he was,
We got to talk about that too.
yeah, I guess it's hard to talk without giving away too much. But
All
like,
right,
even
let me-
within
let me-
knowing he's within the dream, like he was still kind of a piece of shit.
Let me paint the picture a little bit.
Yeah, do it.
So this guy, David Ames, like I said,
Yeah,
rich
like
dude,
Monet.
living the life, banging chicks, not calling them back. He hooks up with this one chick played by Cameron Diaz, who is another like socialite like him. It opens up. The movie actually opens up with him in bed, and well, actually, I guess this is important too. So the first line in this movie you hear on his radio is "Open your eyes," and that is the name of the original film that this movie is made after. Tom Cruise saw this movie at a fucking film festival and was like, you know what? I'm gonna buy the rights to this. We're gonna remake it. And he hired Cameron Crowe to do it. And he liked the movie so much. And what the hell was I going with that?
Abre los ojos. That was the first thing you hear.
Yeah, the first one.
Yes.
And that's so it's important because that phrase
It's done a couple times.
repeats
Yeah.
itself, and it's
Yes.
you know
in different parts of this movie that indicate things changing. So it opens up with that, and it opens up to like first part. We were talking about the music before. It opens up to a Radiohead song that it perfectly fit. Everything in its right place, and it shows like how awesome this guy's life is. He wakes up in his dope bed with silk pajamas. And he's got no shirt on. He's got fucking six pack. He's got greatest hair I've ever seen. And he's got a TV that moves. And he goes into his fucking his bathroom, and he picks a gray hair out of his head, and you just see right there this guy's vain, and he's got the life, does whatever he wants. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the first thing's actually it's the dream. It's him in empty New York, and then he wakes up.
But no, he woke up to the Radiohead song in the dream.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
Yeah. That's part of the
and
dream.
then he wakes up again.
Yeah. So he leaves his house in his dope Ferrari, his old school Ferrari, and you realize he's in the middle of like Manhattan, and there's nobody there, and you're right at the way you know something's weird. Like there's nobody. It's deserted.
Cool shots.
He's deserted. Great shots. Yeah. Cinematography in this movie, absolutely great. Like great fucking cinematography. And nothing's going on. Like it's just deserted, and he starts driving around, and he knows it's weird. You know it's weird. And then he gets to Times Square, and there's nobody there. And he gets out of his car. He starts running, and like the music starts pumping and shit like that. And that's when you guys are saying you had a problem with the movie, right? Because you thought it was kind of weird that it was Tom Cruise running around.
I mean, not that part didn't bother me. I just think
what part?
Just his character, like that's just. I did like the beginning. I think the
running through
cool.
Times Square. I mean, just the feat of
closing down Times Square.
Yeah,
and like that part was cool.
I read they had a whole Sunday where they just had Times Square to themselves. That's cool.
Crazy.
I think one of the last times they closed Times Square for a film, or like
Very
at least
cool.
partially
Yeah,
closed
that
Times
and then
Square.
9/11.
Yeah. Ooh.
The Oliver Stone movie?
No, the 9/11. Did you forget?
The original, unlike the remake. This is the remake, but not of 9/11.
Okay, I remember.
Never forget.
Yeah. Anyway, I guess long story short, because we've painted the picture that he's got the life and he's just this feel good, free, going through life by the balls kind of guy. Oh, we also got to introduce his best friend, played by Jason Lee. He's got a best friend named Jason Lee, who's
Chuck.
Right.
Chuck. Yeah. He's got a show called Chuck, right?
Oh, I'm like, is his name Chuck?
No. Yeah.
No, Earl.
Chuck.
My name is Earl.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, he's Earl. Yeah.
That was a good show.
Great show. He was also in all the Kevin Smith movies, the early Kevin Smith movies.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Good time.
He was actually a professional skater.
Super handsome.
Oh yeah,
Jason
super
Lee.
handsome.
Like that's why I
just not as
realized
handsome as Cruise.
Throwing him next to Tom Cruise is bold, but he's a very handsome man.
He's tall. That's what he's got going for him. Tom Cruise is shorty.
Oh, he's got that nice beard. Got a great smile. He's got a very Ryan Reynolds smile.
Sure.
Ryan Reynolds way about him. It's like early RR, dude.
Yeah. Tom Cruise was a hottie in this movie, though. I can't forget that, man. Every shot of him was like a fucking shot of like a perfume ad of a dude, you know? That's what it seemed. Purposeful. So,
for sure.
Yeah.
He produced it, so you got to make
100%. This movie was only made because he was
also-
like, "Yo, I want to remake this movie."
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah.
I think it's important to lay out how vain he is about his looks early on.
Yeah.
I think
Which he is.
That's the big point of the one of the best car crashes in movie history.
I agree. Anyway, so he goes to work the first day after he wakes up, and this dream happens. So he starts
Write
running
that down,
through
Jake.
fucking.
Best car crash scenes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, gotcha. All right.
It's good. The shot is great. The framing of the shot is awesome.
The
And even Joel walked by and was like, "Yo, I don't know what movie this is, but that shot was sick."
The uncut
car
just
crash?
it slamming in and landing. Like a good uncut single shot of a car crash is always going to be better.
And the way it went off the bridge and it framed in the bridge when it held after it landed, when it fell, and it just stayed there in the frame when the people started running towards the screen. It was just done well.
Like real, visceral.
We're getting ahead of ourselves.
We're getting ahead of ourselves. So in the dream,
dream,
he gets to abandoned Times Square and he starts running, and he's just running, sprinting like Tom Cruise Mission Impossible style sprinting. And then boom, he wakes up and the music's different. And it kind of does the same thing. And he gets up, he pats his TV, he goes into the bathroom, picks the gray hair out. And then he goes back in and you realize that Cameron Diaz is in the bed and she plays this like socialite kind of chick who loves this guy. Like she's into him. He made her come like 4 times, she says later on. So she's all about this guy.
And the
She
dialogue.
You don't like the dialogue?
No, I was saying the dialogue is kind of like he's like jokingly like, don't like record your voice on my machine. It makes us feel like we're married. And she's like, oh, wouldn't that be nice? Kind of vibe.
She's obsessed with this dude.
Yeah,
she
like
loves this guy.
He's very distant. She's very much
to a
clearly
weird point.
into him. Yeah.
Bit of a stalker.
Yes.
Yeah, you slowly realize it here, but you still think like, oh, it's kind of cute. You know what I mean? And anyway, she basically helps it, like, and then even like she helps herself to like the food in his fridge and like eating shit even before he like says that. Yeah,
Very
she's
familiar.
a weirdo. She's just a fucking weirdo. And then he leaves, goes to work, and you know what's weird about this movie that I didn't remember is there's semi parts of narration. I forgot. It's like only in snippets of it too.
Well,
it's like here and there.
It's because
he's talking
of
to
the
Kurt Russell.
Yes,
it's
but
that.
I
So
didn't
sort
remember
of-
there being narration over footage when I originally watched this movie. I always thought it was like him talking, like, and you saw him talking. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, yeah, it's
like
not
in the
it's
frame.
not traditional like voiceover like, but it is.
It's narration.
It is what it is. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Because we do eventually get. That's probably after we meet. Because from the Julie Gianni scene, then we meet homeboy Jason Lee.
His friend. Yeah. So
and
yeah.
he's like, "You're fucking the hottest girl in New York, bro."
Yeah, and he's like obsessed. It's one of those things where like everybody on the internet's probably like, "Yo, this girl's awesome," and then this one guy who doesn't even like her because he's the guy who gets to have her type of thing. You know what I mean?
Because he's
That's
so cool.
When you first watched this movie, how long until you? I mean, the entire time you're like, "What the fuck is going on?" Right?
100%, 100%.
Just want to make sure.
It's purposely.
That was me yesterday.
Because they do quickly like get to him in like what seems to be like a jail cell sort of room.
Yeah.
Talking to
Well, he's
Kurt
wearing a
Russell
mask.
With a weird mask on.
with his mask on.
Yeah.
Like telling the story of this movie kind of
Kinda
to
like a
Kurt
Trump
Russell.
mask at first.
Yeah, a little Mike Myers-esque a little way, but I mean,
But I found
Kind
it
of reminds me of
hair.
American Psycho mask. Like,
If
yeah.
you squint your eyes, it was like, oh, that's Tom Cruise for sure. So it
How
must
cool
have
was
been,
Kurt
like,
Russell
his
though?
mask.
So William
Kurt Russell in a
Shatner
role you
mask.
would never think he'd be in. You know, he played a total different kind of guy, and he had glasses. Never had glasses before.
You obviously never seen the
Never had
Christmas
glasses?
Chronicles.
I have not seen the Christmas Chronicles.
Great movies.
Does he play Santa Claus?
He sure does. He's the best Santa Claus. He's the best Santa Claus of all time.
Is he? I don't doubt
Maybe
it.
like him up there with Tim Allen. I don't know. Like I got it, but like consistently, he's a better Santa Claus. He's certainly he's the best Santa Claus. I'm laying it down. Kurt Russell, best Santa Claus.
Kurt Russell's the best at a lot of things. You know what I mean? He's Kurt Russell.
He gave me Doctor in Stargate vibes because that was like a smart character in Stargate.
Yeah, but he was
Scientist.
like a Marine in Stargate too.
He was like a Marine scientist.
No, he wasn't a doctor. James Spader was a doctor. Kurt Russell
Alright.
was a leader of the Marines.
Guess I'm getting them kind of mixed up in my head. I haven't seen the movie in a while, but
I
yeah,
always get James Spader and Kurt Russell mixed up.
they kind of look similar with glasses.
James
on.
Spader
Public?
and
I
Crash,
don't know.
mostly.
Yeah. Rash Spader.
Yeah.
Is it like the Boston Public reference?
No, I never seen that. I did not get it.
Your fucking references are the best, dude.
Thank you.
Sick references.
Everybody
bro.
says it.
Yeah, I'm just talking about it.
Damn, we did that thing again.
So
No.
let's cut to the party.
Oh yeah, hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. So we gotta introduce his friend a little more. He's like this dude's best friend. You realize this is like his only friend, really. It's like his one true friend, and he's writing a book that Tom Cruise is paying him to write. Like he's
Yeah, what's that? What was that about?
He's basically just guy who's got that to hold over him. He's like, the reason why this guy's making money is because I'm paying him to write a book. You know, I think that
Whose
was
book?
the point of that. His
Is it
book.
Tom's book.
No, it's Jason's book, but Tom's paying him to write it.
He's just his publisher, essentially.
He's his
kinda-
publisher,
He just
yeah.
works for him,
And they're
technically.
boys.
Yeah, they're
But
boys.
now,
Book
did we
technically works for
do
him.
we have the feeling that I guess he can do whatever he wants because he stole his girl right away?
Well, I think at first you're supposed to think that's his girl, but you come to yes he did, but you come to realize that he
Those
met her
dates.
only a mere hours before, so it's not really his girl. And you also come to understand that she pretty much fell in love with him too. It wasn't just a one-sided thing.
Yes, but
Yeah.
still, guy brings girl, guy steals girl.
And
Yeah.
it also seemed like he was
Yeah.
into Julia as well. The Jason Lee character kind of was into the other girl because he's like, she
he
could
said
be
that.
my
He
could be
said
the
that.
girl.
Cameron
in my
Diaz?
dream. Yeah,
He said that.
Yeah,
and
he
that's
said
the
that about
point.
both
Is this
girls,
guy's
yeah.
always just getting the girl? Yeah,
Yeah.
Tom Cruise gets the girl, dude. That's
Yeah,
what it
for
is.
sure.
He's the rich guy.
written
He's
in
like
his
if
contract.
Zuckerberg was cool. You know what I mean? He's like if Zuckerberg was
Get
cool.
that big wallet energy.
Yeah. Plus, he looks like Tom Cruise. The scene where they're drawing each other is they are beautiful, both of them. I'm
yeah.
just like,
Oh, yeah.
oh my god.
Are they both artists though? Like, number one,
I thought that
his
too.
Was all
I
right.
was
His-
like-
his drawing of her was like, all right, I can see someone sketching that. She busted out one of the most professional
Great
looking
caricature.
caricatures
Great
I've ever
caricature.
seen. Is she a does she work at fairs? What does
Listen,
she do?
dude, she is so hot and
She
such
was
good a
perfect.
dancer that just happens. Let's give her that. You know,
She was the perfect girl.
we all don't know if Han Solo shot first, but we give it to him. We'll just give her that.
Han Solo definitely shot.
Well, to agree to disagree. You know, tomato tomato.
So then I think
to the
after
party?
we meet the Jason, yeah,
Yeah,
well
get to the party.
then they meet the
Whoa, the seven dwarfs. We gotta meet the seven dwarfs.
right, and he introduces them while he's talking to
That's the voice.
Kurt Russell part. That's the voiceover.
Yes.
Kind
So
of
introduce
breaks
Kurt
down.
Russell then. Who's Kurt Russell? Introduce Kurt Russell.
Seemingly a psychologist. We don't really know.
Yeah.
But it seems there's like a
No,
jail
he says
si-
it.
He
Sorry.
does say it.
He does. He goes, I am paid to figure out if you killed blah, blah, blah or not. That's what he says.
Yeah, so clearly
Yes.
there's been a murder. We don't really
Yes.
know. At this point, we don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yes.
Because he's just in a jail with a weird mask on, telling the story about his life and his business, and he describes the seven dwarfs, and eventually that leads to the party.
Well, wait, who are the seven dwarfs, though? We got to say that. They're the other people on the board.
Sleepy, sneezy, bashful, dopey, happy. I'm not counting.
And
Grumpy.
Doc.
And
And
Doc.
Doc.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. They are the other board members of his father's company that he owns now. He has 51% power. They have 49. But the whole story of this movie is that he's paranoid that these people are trying to take him out. And it's like he thinks that like they're trying to kill him, basically. You know what I mean? Like that's what it alludes to.
They
And this is
kinda
the
are.
first... Well, 100%. This is the first part of that, though, is like he talks about that. That's important.
They obviously don't like him. The way he comes in, all
Yeah.
cocky and young, and
He's like
everything
Ferris
was-
Bueller.
Everything was given to him. Everything was pretty much just given to him by his father. He was just
Yeah.
inherited it when he died. It wasn't. This was not something he earned. So they see that.
And that was established when in that scene with Jason Lee, because he went to like go play tennis or some
Tennis,
shit.
yeah.
One of
Racquetball,
those
maybe,
racket
yeah.
sports.
Yeah.
Racquetball. There it is. And he was late for a meeting, and they're like, come on time, make sure you're on time, and you got to pick the colors for the fall issue. And he's just like,
Yeah. He's like, I don't know.
I'll decide later.
That scene was fun when he was walking through and he's saying hi to everybody, and that guy was like, "You gotta choose
Wearing
this
a
man."
goof hat.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
the hat.
Silly little bucket hat. And he's just like,
really
what's up,
showed you.
Gwyneth?
Really showed you who he is.
Right. Cocky little asshole.
He fucks, though.
Dude, it's definitely
Tom Cruise
fucks
is the
for
best.
sure. He even described, he's like, I could fuck, but I don't need to.
No, I love that.
I prolong that shit. You know what I'm saying? And then he's like, bro, I've been married for 20 years. I don't fuck. I get that shit whenever I can get it. I don't know what you're talking about it. She gives up that maybe once every 3 weeks. But yeah.
Classic.
He's a little- yeah.
Classic
Tom
locker
Cruise,
room
Tom
talk.
Cruise fucks. Yep.
Classic Kirk Russell talk, you know?
Tom
yeah.
Cruise out there grabbing him by the pussy.
Yeah, that in that scene at the birthday party, Steven Spielberg was there, and there
Right.
were like 6 really famous supermodels there that all had like really 1 to 2 second scenes, but like I know at least like 4 or 5 or 6 of those people. So like it was supposed to be like he was the guy, you know what I mean? He was the guy in New York, the guy whose house you wanted to be, the party you wanted to be at.
Right.
Yeah.
I think
So
I
we're
saw
at the party.
something. Spielberg only was there because he was on set to like talk
Yeah.
to Cruise about Minority Report.
Uh-huh.
And then Cameron Cruise was like, get in there.
Yeah.
Get in the party. So they just walk by him, say what up to Spielberg.
Yeah.
Give him a dap.
Paul
him
Thomas
up.
Anderson also went on the set of Eyes Wide Shut to talk to Cruise. And he said, Paul Thomas Anderson said that was one of the coolest things ever is that he got to be on Stanley Kubrick.
Was
set.
he in the party?
He was not.
Oh, damn. That would have been a funny little,
he was
little
not.
thing.
Anyway, yeah.
Trivia on that note: he was wearing a pre-crime hat.
Who was?
Oh.
Tom Cruise. I mean,
Was he?
Steven Spielberg. Steven
That's-
Spielberg,
Was he?
when he walked by, was wearing
cool.
a pre-crime hat.
That's funny.
That's cool. God, dude, fucking, we should do
Foreshadow.
fucking Minority Report. That movie's awesome.
Minority Report, so good.
That's a good movie, dude.
Oracles.
Yeah.
Come on.
This is a prime Cruise era. He had to
Dude,
sit there
I
and
meant
look
to talk about that. I need to list these movies. I was so shocked when I saw these movies in a row, actually. I was like,
about
damn,
Cruise.
dude, before Tom Cruise went crazy on a couch, he was like the guy.
Yeah, that whole
Remember, he's
couch
like,
thing
baby.
kind of threw it off, but he
Couch
still
thing
was.
threw it all off. Actually, it didn't. He just became the action guy.
He became
You know
a
what I mean?
Mission Impossible.
All right,
He
so
came-
listen
I
to
feel like
this,
he came
ready?
weird for a
Hunt.
couple
Oh.
years, but yeah.
Ready? All right, ready?
Go.
Starting with. I'm even go further down. I'm gonna just all right. Starting with Born the Rain Man. Even.
I see what you're saying. I'm
All right.
looking. I'm looking.
So
at this
Rain
shit.
Man, Born the 4th of July, Days of Thunder, Far and Away, A Few Good Men, The Firm, Interview with the Vampire, Mission Impossible, Jerry Maguire, Eyes Wide Shut, Magnolia, Mission Impossible 2, Vanilla Sky, Minority Report, The Last Samurai, Collateral, War of the Worlds, Mission Impossible 3, and then that was when he jumped on the couch.
Dude, he was like Genghis Khan of fucking
Dude,
movies.
what was going on there? It was everything. And then he did Tropic Thunder after, but like
Yep.
it's still like that was a little different. That was a little different. He
Tropic
came,
Thunder might have been
did
his
it.
return to like, hey, everybody, remember how awesome Tom
Yeah.
Cruise is?
Yeah. Well, no one ever saw Tom Cruise do that.
He does have a weird,
Yeah.
a little empty space between 2005 and 2008 with Tropic. I guess there's Mission Impossible 3. whatever.
Well, Mission
But-
Impossible 3 was still him doing great. That was J.J. Abrams' first movie. That's before he jumped on the couch. I think he jumped on the couch after that. That's the first movie James
I
Abrams ever
think-
directed was Mission
I
Impossible 3.
believe he jumped on the couch to promote War of the Worlds.
Oh,
I
really?
think
So that was right
the-
after
that,
then.
that was 05. I think that was the couch era.
Okay.
And then he came back,
When did
went
Tom
hard on the
when did
Mission
Tom
Impossible.
Cruise jump on the couch? May 2005.
Bam, I
So
don't know.
yeah, War of the Worlds.
War of the Worlds, baby.
Jumped on the couch to profess his love for Katie Holmes, I guess.
Or
I thought it was
Scientology.
I thought it was Scientology related.
Well, it's
That
all
sounds right though.
Scientology.
Now that
He
you say
married
Maybe
it.
her
we're
for
off. Maybe we shouldn't
Scientology
be
related.
we shouldn't be saying things we don't know. You know what though?
I'm
He's
just
come
reading.
back.
That's kind of
He
part of
came
the
back,
fun.
though.
2005,
Listen.
during an appearance on Oprah Winfrey's talk show, it's May 2005, the actor was supposed to promote the movie, had just jumped on her couch to proclaim his love for Katie Holmes.
Okay.
for him.
So then no, maybe it's not the couch thing I'm talking about. Who did he get in an argument with? Was it Matt something? Matt Lauer or something? He's like, Matt, you don't have no idea what you're talking about. He's like, Matt, you don't know what you're talking about. It was
I
like
think that
something.
also happened, but I remember the couch thing was definitely like a hit to his career, and
Okay.
like very briefly.
Because people
obviously.
were just like, what's wrong with this guy?
Yeah, people are like,
he
"Oh,
yelled,
Tom Cruise
he
was- Tom
yelled
Cruise
at
was
his
crazy."
crew in
He did?
20,
Oh,
but that was 2020.
That was recent, yeah.
He yelled, really?
Yeah, he
Tom
had, like,
Cruise
a-
yells at Mission Impossible 7 crew.
I think it was about COVID shit. Like it was.
Yeah.
Oh, I do
heard about
remember that.
I
Yeah.
remember that. Yeah.
I remember that. Yo, so he made Edge of Tomorrow, which was
Yeah,
great.
Matt Lauer, Tom Cruise heated interview. Matt Lauer, June 2005.
Yeah, I think that's the one that really damaged him because he was.
was
I
just-
think that was the Scientology one. What does it say he talked about? I think that was the one where he's like, Matt, you have no idea what you're talking about. He's like, you got to stop talking about what you don't know. You know what I mean? He's like, don't talk about what you don't. Like, he's basically like getting all pissed off.
Lauer's like, that's not how you make cocktails. I'll show you how to make cocktails.
I don't know why he got mad.
Like, I don't know why you're a famous bartender in this movie when you're only fucking mixing seltzer water and vodka the whole fucking movie.
Shout out to Lou Dog
Word.
What?
cocktail.
Gotta still do it. So the Vanilla Sky Peace party. We're at the party scene finally?
Yeah, we're at the party.
Party.
birthday party.
He meets. Yeah, it's his birthday party that he threw. Oh yeah, so he meets his buddy Jason comes in. Jason Lee comes in, and he's with Penelope Cruz, who is just
Sophia.
absolutely stunning. She's like the hottest of the hotties. And they immediately fall in love just by looking at each other. Like, you can tell I don't know about love, but they're infatuated with each other. Like they're just like, oh my God, like obsessed with each other. And you realize right there, as does Jason Lee's character, that like he just swooped in and basically took her, right? He says she's her.
Just
she's
walked
his now.
up. Just walked up,
Yeah.
smiled with his single middle tooth, and she was taken away.
Yeah.
Like
I wish I could do that.
Jason was even telling a story, and he's just like, "All right," and you're not even listening to me now.
Yeah.
And they're just like googly eyed for each other.
He's like, we picked a present out together. We both picked it out.
Right, yeah. Because then
Yeah.
he takes the present and walks into the room, and
Yeah.
then there's Cameron Diaz. What a hard life this guy has. Walks
Yeah.
to his room,
Rough.
Cameron Diaz basically just
Naked.
naked in his room,
Yeah.
like, "Happy birthday! I don't want to talk to any of your friends, but I want to fuck you." It's like, oh, what a fucking.
He's
what a
like,
day.
I ain't got
Not
time to fuck you
invited.
right now, bitch.
She was not invited to that party.
Not, yeah,
Yeah, he goes, funny you're here. Didn't invite you.
right.
She goes, I know. I thought that was kind of weird. That's when I was like, oh my
This
God.
bitch crazy.
Yeah.
Like, wow, that's awesome, but this bitch
Anthony,
crazy.
let me
But
ask you a question.
you
Did you
can't
watch
be
the
here.
trailer before you watched this movie?
Nah,
Okay, cool. So you didn't know anything about it.
I didn't know nothing.
Okay, so
Good.
yeah, that's good. That's really awesome, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. I was
So what do you
confused.
think so far? So at this point, like at
this
the
point-
movie, what are you thinking?
Uh,
Because you're the one who hasn't
I
seen
was
this
a
movie.
little. I'm a little confused by
Of course.
just by cutting to him in the jail cell with fucking Captain Ron.
Sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
He,
Captain Ron's a great
yeah.
movie, man.
That was the one thing that I was like, I did, but other than that, it was like, all right, I get it. This guy's awesome. This guy's handsome. This guy's rich. He gets what he wants. I was kind of thinking like, kind of just jack, but also I was kind of thinking Jason seems really cool with whatever this guy does. And he brought up the fact that he pays him for the book, but I guess my question was about that. Does it seem like he holds it over him?
I think Jason just has no choice but to always think that like the only reason why he can survive in the world is because this guy pays him. I think that's always going to be kind of like something he thinks about. But I think Tom Cruise thinks about it now. I think he's just so rich, doesn't even care.
Yeah, I don't think he cares.
Tom Cruise is floating.
Yeah, he's just chilling.
They
He
do
wouldn't
have
do it
that
if he cared.
They have that scene of him just basically like handing the girl over at this party. He's just like, once he leaves the whole Cameron Diaz thing, he talks to Sophia to be like, "Hey, you gotta help me hide from this chick." And then they're hanging out in a room and flirting it up. And then homeboy comes in. And he's just like, "Oh, I see what's going on here." It's like, "Don't worry, You're in good hands. I'm gonna leave. She's even like, no, let me come with you. You don't have to leave.
Yeah.
And he's like, no,
She's super cool about it. She's like,
Take
nah,
her.
I'm gonna
She
leave with
is
you.
really cool about it,
She's like,
yeah.
I'm gonna leave with you. She's a good person. She got it the worst in this movie.
oh well, yeah.
Cameron Diaz
kind of.
is also creepily cool about all that situation too. For her being madly in love, it seems, or entirely infatuated with this guy, she's like, okay, another chick, that's cool, whatever. Like it seems like that's the kind of chick you
She's
want.
trying
you
to
know?
play the game. Yeah, she's trying
Wait
to
a
play the
second.
game, but she's also trying to keep him around.
She is. She's
Wait a
definitely
second.
she's definitely like not cool about it, but she plays cool. About
She's
it.
got no choice.
Right.
She ain't his girlfriend, bro.
Yeah.
She wants to be. She tries to be. He's just like, yo, we're friends. You know how many times he said friends in that first conversation they had? Like 3 times.
The dialogue with Jason Lee and him is kind of shitty. That's the one thing that annoys me. Is like they're like everything they say is so like
It's very
on
snappy.
the nose of like, oh, I'm your best friend. Oh, you stole the girl I like. Oh, this is the girl of my dreams. Oh, but you can have her because
Very Gilmore Girls.
Yeah, it was very, just very. A lot of the shit they said was just on the nose of like the conversation was just very obvious. I guess
Okay.
it's a forward.
I was about to say
relationship.
I was about to say how much I thought the scene between the Cruises when they first meet and they're hiding together was so authentic feeling, and how like it really seems like they fell in love in that, like the way that they shot it and the way that they acted, like that was pretty authentic.
Penelope
to me.
Cruz is
The
phenomenal.
Cruises, yes, yeah.
She's what?
Phenomenal.
She's
Phenomenal
great.
actor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's a
they're
great
amazing.
actor.
Yeah.
I
She-
thought she felt well. You know what? They did fall in love. So
Yeah, they dated for like
you
3
know?
years. You're right.
She wasn't acting.
Yeah, she was in the original
sh-
movie. She played the same character in the original movie too.
Oh,
That's a pretty cool
interesting.
thing.
Yep.
Yeah,
How long ago was that shot? Before
like
this
3
one?
years before.
It was 97. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch it?
She's
No.
even hotter.
I watched it today.
Oh, I didn't know.
Was it better or worse?
Is it
Probably
in English?
probably a little better. No, it's Spanish. I'd say it was a little better. It was a little. They cut some fat. I think no, they didn't cut any fat. I think it was more to the point, but it was like hardly any different. Honestly, they was almost the same thing throughout. I think they just took out a little bit, added a little bit of like the business, Tom Cruise's business with like the Seven Dwarfs and all that shit.
That's
but it was
new.
still that shit was new.
Huh.
I think it was like he was just a rich guy and he was younger and he just inherited money and like that was but there was something with the business, like he had business partners that like he wasn't getting along with, but they didn't really dive into the business stuff. It was more about the
I mean, they
relationships
didn't
with
really
the girl.
dive into this business stuff either.
It wasn't too
Like, I
much
didn't-
more. It was a little bit.
I didn't even know what his business was really the entire time. It didn't seem important. I just knew he was at the top of the chain for whatever this was.
Yeah, it was a newspaper company. Or,
makes
Yeah,
sense now,
I think
like,
just
pictures and
I guess
stuff.
just less exposition is one thing the first one had, which unneeded exposition. Like they didn't go into like his parents and that business side of things. It was just more cut and dry. But it was almost the same movie, very very similar. I think a couple scenes were a little longer to add. I think the Tom Cruise aspect, Tom Cruise made himself like cooler. But to me, the original character was more likable because he wasn't like this arrogant, like he was definitely like a young, good looking guy and like, fucked, but he wasn't like this. Tom Cruise just had something about him in this movie that was like kind of a little cringy at times to me, but
See, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I think Tom Cruise is a product of his environment. Like, if you're that rich and have never had to do anything you didn't want to do and are good looking and have that kind of aura, I feel like that's just going to be you. You're not going to know any better. You know what I mean?
I mean, I don't hold it against him. I just don't necessarily like him for it. I don't know.
See, I don't
there was
hold
like a
him
certain
not
level
being
of like
likable against him in
narcissism
the
and
movie
shit,
either,
yeah.
though. Sorry, we just talked way over each other.
No,
but
it's okay.
but the difference is you hold it against him for not being likable, for being unlikable. I don't.
I guess it's
Is
just
he
one of those
like
things.
those cringy parts? Do you think though he's supposed to be cringy in those, like that, or you think it's just Tom
What do you mean? What
Cruise?
parts are you talking about?
I guess like Tom, he would make himself like smarter in the movie. Like I think that whole like there was a scene with him talking to doctors. He's like, you got to make sure you know their jargon, study up, like things like that. He just made the character like better for the movie to make him seem like the best guy ever. But he was also, I don't know, I guess he wasn't as relatable because he was such an over the top, not great person.
Doctor thing was weird.
So there was that. It wasn't super relatable to me, but I still like the movie. I think the concept and the story was great. Just that was kind of it.
We
Just
can't
annoyed
relate
me.
to having a life like that
Right.
or being able to command anything in that way like that. You know what I mean? So it's
It's like
That's
Succession,
100%.
you know, like
100%.
Succession. Like I couldn't relate to
100%.
those characters, but I found them fascinating. So,
Sure, yeah.
something similar to that, I guess. But
Yeah,
maybe not
well,
as not as
I
fascinating.
guess the difference is like this movie, and I guess not even difference, but we haven't talked about this either. Is like the way Cameron Crowe made this movie is very like it's a movie. It's a movie for making a movie. Like this isn't like Garden State or like Creep, into where they made a movie and it's like technical for its own ways and playing within a budget and playing within what the means that they have. This was just like, let's go out, take this movie that you loved, and we'll just do our version of it in our way. And all the exposition that you're talking about was just Cameron Crowe's interpretation of this movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's what
polished,
he wanted to lean into more.
Polished. It was refined. It was very like rock and roll. It was flashy,
Yes.
like the rock and roll music. I think the thing with the original, it almost had like a more of a horror. It wasn't a horror movie, but it had like a creepier vibe to it at times, where like some of the dream stuff was more like eerie, opposed to what the fuck's going on. Like I guess that was the little differences, but it was again very similar. But yeah, it was very very flashy rock and roll. This movie.
I love the music. I thought it was great.
I do too.
Yeah.
I thought the music was good.
Yeah.
Good for that, like that era.
Cameron Crowe's the guy who did that movie that I didn't like.
Almost Famous.
Almost
Yeah,
Famous.
So he's a music guy.
Yeah, he made that back to back. Like he made this directly after, to the point where they used the same crew supposedly, or mostly.
Interesting.
Then you get Jason Lee again.
Yeah,
a
true.
Supporting character.
I guess Tom Cruise saw It's Almost Famous. Well, actually, Tom Cruise made Jerry Maguire with Cameron Crowe before that.
He had that connection.
Yeah.
The Jerry Maguire connection.
Yeah. He was nominated for an Oscar for that, Tom Cruise. I think Jerry Maguire won Cameron Crowe an Oscar, too, for Best Screenplay.
And they're similar movies
you're
because, if I'm not mistaken, the line in that movie was "Show me the Monet."
Yeah, show me that. That's good. That's a good one.
Thank you. I'll be here for the next hour or so.
All right, back to the movie. So he falls in. They fall in. So yeah, he's running away from Cameron Diaz at the party. He was like, "Yo, let's bang," and he's all like, "Nah." He runs like you guys were saying. They all three, Jason Lee, and meets up with the Cruises, and they're just flirting with each other. And then Jason's like, "All right, I'm out. You guys are good." And she's like, "I'll come with you. Like, let's get out of here." She was cool as shit about it. And I guess Tom Cruise is kind of a dick about it in that moment. He's like, "Oh, really? You're gonna leave?" And you're just like, "Oh man, you're just gonna take him? You don't really want him to take him, you know? You want Jason Lee to get her." But he don't. And she stays, and they flirt, and they have a great little. I think the scene of them getting to know each other was pretty great. I mean, yes, I liked when he looked at her pictures on a refrigerator and he told her he liked her life. I thought that was a really cool conversation to have and a cool thing to say, and I think he really meant it, because those pictures that they showed of her were like so cinematic and beautiful. Like I know I keep saying this, and I know so everybody knows it, but she is stunning. Like at this point in time, she was statuesque, man. Like she looked like she was a fucking fairy. Like I don't even know, man. She was so hot.
She was cute too.
Yeah, and she was smart, and she was funny, and she was fast. You know what I mean? Like, and she really loved him. You really saw that from her. Like,
She was very comfortable in herself. She was not she was nothing like him. She was not rich. She was not put together like him. They went to her house, and she had, it was all messy. She had clothes everywhere. She was picking up and shit.
Yeah.
And she didn't care. She was just like, "What's up? Like, come on in. Let's get a drink."
Yeah. Messy, but not dirty. You know what I mean? She wasn't
Not
like
dirty,
filthy.
no.
It was just dirt. She's messy.
She's an artist.
Yeah, exactly. She didn't have time for
She
that.
lived like an artist. She also had a dope apartment in LA.
Yeah,
in New
sick
York.
apartment.
She ain't making that money, dude. She must have had OnlyFans back in '89, 2001.
This is 01, but yeah.
Maybe.
So what
89,
happens
man,
next?
she's fucking rich.
So they fall in love.
It's a great scene. It's a long scene. They
Long
paint
scene.
each other, or they draw each other at some point.
They draw each other scene. That was a great scene. I loved that scene. Not only
this
was
scene.
the cinematography just so good and it felt so intimate, and they both were just so good looking in the frames. Like when she sees the picture of herself, and like her reaction was just like genuinely like, "Oh my god, like that seems really real." She fucking killed it in this movie. You're right.
She's amazing.
She was good. Yeah.
She's probably the best. She was the best one in the movie. Best actor. In the
Yeah.
movie.
That
Tom
was
Cruise
great.
Is handsome. Tom Cruise is great, but she was like, I just believed her. I thought she was Sophia.
Yeah. They should make a sequel when they're cats. That'd be awesome.
They don't bang. They have a good time. They basically
Yeah.
fall. This is where they fall in love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eventually they kiss, but that's as far as it goes.
Yep.
And
And,
then
they both fall in love. And the way this scene is shot too. So he goes outside the dope apartment on the cobblestone streets of New York City, where only like 4 blocks are like that. So they're like, "We got to go to here." You know what I mean? Wherever that is in I think it's in
definitely picked
Tribeca.
the dope outside areas.
Yeah. And so he's walking, and he gets to his sick ass Mustang, and then Cameron Diaz pulls up. What's her name? Giuliani? Something Giuliani?
Yeah,
Julie Giuliani. Julia.
I think it's Julie Gianni.
Julie Gianni. Yeah, Julie. Great name. Julie Gianni. She pulls up in another dope car and she's like, "Yo, what you doing?" He's like, "You fucking followed me." And she's like,
at this point,
Yeah.
I think out loud, I was like, this bitch. Like that, like if I didn't think she was a creeper or like a stalker before, like that solidified it. You fucking outside in this bitch's house?
Yeah.
All night. You've been waiting out here all night.
And she doesn't deny it. She straight up is like,
No.
"Yeah."
Because they left the party to avoid her. Like
Yes.
he took her home to avoid her because she was creeping around the party.
Yeah.
And then when they left, she clearly followed.
Oh, we didn't talk about one thing we should talk about. I know the vanilla sky painting when they're walking around his house,
I feel
his
like
other
that's
house.
the least significant point or part of the movie.
No, it's not, because it's all about like what it looks like in the dream and shit. Remember, or he's talking about the sky looking like that. Oh, all right, never mind. Fuck you then, bro.
It doesn't feel important, but that it does.
It just
matter
doesn't.
It's
later.
pretty
feel
important.
Like it seemed like it just glossed over that.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, he painted the fucking vanilla sky.
Because he's just
I
like
went
he's
this,
showing off
"Oh."
his art shit, showing off his like rich guy stuff. So it doesn't feel that important, but it is. It does
It is
matter
important,
at
yeah.
later.
Why?
Because he takes all his memories and that's how he paints the world that he's dreaming.
Yeah, from that, like based on that picture, because his mom.
That's what the sky looks like in the dreams. The rest of the movie.
Yeah, I just said that.
No, because okay.
Did you only watch this movie once?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
curious.
I think he
Okay.
did. It's fine.
Yeah,
but
It was totally fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is definitely one of those.
like three times.
Yeah,
you're
you
like, holy
get
shit.
a lot
I meant
out
to
of it
watch
the
it
more you
again
watch.
today when I was fucking busy.
But you
Yeah,
watched.
no worries.
What did you watch instead? Tropic Thunder.
While I was
Hey,
working in the garage, I watched Tropic Thunder and both Zoolanders. But I'm not watching those. Those are just playing in the background, making me laugh.
Oh man.
The second Zoolander is fucking hilarious, dude.
You love that movie, yeah.
I
You know
love
what
that
movie you love too is the second Anchorman, which I think is hilarious.
Second Anchorman is great.
Yeah.
Second Anchorman is hilarious. Chicken in the cave.
It is good.
It's an underrated Anchorman.
When
for
he's
sure.
raising the shark, it's just hilarious too.
Is that a
All
bad
right.
Chicken
Where
in the
we-
cave?
We're back to this movie.
we
So where
are.
are we? So this is where he gets in the car.
Yeah, Julie
Oh,
Jones.
all right. Let's
car.
talk about this right
He
here.
goes-
Would you
she
have gotten
goes-
in the fucking car? Would you guys get in the fucking car?
Well, she was just offering to bang him. She's just
Yeah, but
basically,
does
you
he
want to
really
come
need
home?
to bang this girl? He's a fucking idiot.
No, he doesn't. But
Yeah, he's a
he's
fucking
going for
moron.
it.
Also, I just thought, like, why he's gonna leave his car there?
Yeah.
Well, he's rich. isn't he?
Sophia will watch
Absolutely,
it.
I would not have gotten in the car.
That's true. She would notice. He's probably got blue balls too, so I get it. But
At this point, though,
I would be like,
when
"Bitch,
he
you're crazy."
when it cuts to the shot where he's also in the car, this is the first point where I was like, "Is this a fucking dream?"
Okay.
Okay.
Because his part wasn't even. a
Because it
dream
seemed
yet,
weird.
technically.
I know
Is it the editing that same you're saying? Like the way they edited it to like
it
just
was
how
a little like ghosty, little like
Yeah.
little misty, little soft, I guess, soft early morning light. But
Yeah.
it just because I think that was it. I think it's because like, why the fuck would he get in that car?
Well, it's
And the way
almost
she
like
was
he was
acting.
being really nice to her, and he didn't have to be. It's like he's too nice. You know what I mean? I don't know.
He is
Jake,
kind of talk. He is kind of talking shit once he gets in the car, which is kind of funny about like her music and shit. She's like,
He
"Oh,
does
I'll
not-
buy my CD."
He does not think she's gonna do what she's gonna do. Never in a
definitely
million
not, no.
years. Like not even a hint. Even if he should, I don't think there was ever a hint of
He's
that.
just trying to get.
But you know what I
get some
did like? I'm
puss.
gonna jump ahead really quick. Just say one thing. I'm not gonna say anything specific, but the last 20 minutes of this movie is my favorite part of this movie, and the things that they flash back to are pretty crazy when you see it. They're so tell a story in so many ways. Like the shots that they go back to, that they show really quick. It's pretty cool. That's what I really like about this movie. Anyway, going back to where we were. Go ahead, Jake. You take it away.
I agree, but that's only because that's what explains what the fuck was happening for the past 2 hours and 10 minutes.
And then that's what's fun about the rewatch too of this movie. Like you pick up on a lot more of those
Yeah, I
little
bet.
things.
Yeah.
I need to watch it again. Probably won't.
Yeah, but yeah,
All right.
they're in the car. They're arguing. They're or not really arguing, but
Yeah,
she's
she shows
being-
him his CD.
She's definitely being a weird.
She's playing her
And-
music. She's like, would you put my music in your magazine? And he's like, this is you, huh? He says it's vibrant, right? Or no, not vibrant.
She got him. She got him.
something
She
like
got him
that.
good. She goes like this: if I came out with an album, would you write about it in your magazine? He goes, sure, fucking whatever, yeah, why not? And she goes like this: cha-ching. What do you think about this, bitch?
And it's playing in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very vibrant, something like that. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
I don't know.
She's like,
Suck.
I'd buy my CD if I wasn't me, and he's like, Well, you know what they say: if you can reach one person,
That
you
was
do-
the. I think
like-
that was the. That was
Right.
the where she was like, "Yep, this is it." I think that
I'm
was the
gonna
part
kill
where
him
she's
now.
like, "I'm gonna
Yeah.
kill this guy."
And then what happens?
She's like, "What makes you happy?" Blah blah blah. Basically, and then like starts telling, "I love you. I fucking swallow your cum. You fucking come inside me. I love you so much. We fucked
Yeah.
4 times.
time.
If you don't love me, we're gonna die." And then was there any more until she runs off the bridge?
Yeah,
She
which is what we were
fucking
talking about.
Floors
that
it.
great shot.
The whole time she's flooring it, just going through. She's dodging buses, going
In
through
Manhattan.
intersections, and he's just like, "Yo, you gotta stop, please, just stop this right now." And yeah, she swerves off a bridge into, like we said before, one of the coolest car crash shots ever. What?
Do you know that he says I love you and she smiles and she turns
then
the
she
wheel.
does it?
That's when she does it.
Because she knows
that's
he's
like that's
lying.
all she wanted to hear. That's
That's
she
fucked
could
up.
die in that moment knowing that he said that, and that would be how it that's why she did it.
Damn,
You
we
mean it,
okay.
bitch.
Let's be real. We all need a girl like this.
What do you mean?
Talking
Elaborate.
about a ride or die. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Jesus. Ride and die.
She's in for whatever.
Well, she's also out for whatever too with you, you know?
You know?
She's like if she don't get her way, she's out. I don't like that.
That's the kind of girl you want, dude. That's the kind of girl you need. That's the
Jake,
kind
you
of girl
ever
that
had a girl
wants
like
you.
that?
I don't think so.
You know.
See a little racist cat in the background.
Yeah.
Racist. Why is this cat racist?
Throwback joke from before.
Oh, yeah, you weren't here for that. So they crash. They crash. The car crashes. A bad crash.
cat. Yeah, great crash. Great crash.
Good crash. Bad crash.
Yeah, she drives off the bridge and the front of the car just smashes into a fucking brick wall. Crash. And they're in this little sports car too, so they got fucked up. And then what's it cut to? Does it cut to him in the mask or what happens right after that?
No, then it cuts to him in, I don't know if it's like Central Park or something, like a
Oh,
very,
yeah.
this is the very dream-like, vibrant park. And then he's just walking, and then there's Sophia. He's like, I had the worst dream, blah, 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 and like describes it. And then she starts asking like, well, what happened to the people at your party? And then for something clicks, and you can see him start realizing like, oh,
This
fuck,
is a dream.
Yeah.
this is
And
the
that's when it
dream.
goes into the voiceover of him saying, "I realized in my dream that I was like getting played right now. Like I was, you know what I mean? Like that dream is making fun of me by making me
Dreams
realize
are
this
making me
is a dream."
sad.
Yeah, dreams suck because
Yeah.
I wake up and I just want to die, and then he wakes
Yeah.
up and he's ugly as fuck.
Ugly.
Yeah, he
dude.
got fucked up.
He got
Face
that
all-
fucking sloth
half
face.
face all smashed.
This motherfucker out here saying, "Hey, you guys," you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it looked like he had fucking 3 strokes and then got stabbed.
Yeah, he was
in the
pretty fucked up.
face.
He looked like the guy from Hannibal.
Mason Verger.
Look like this dude out here looked like Mason Verger, dude.
That was
Gotta
Gary
be fed
Oldman,
by the
dude.
pigs, dude.
Oh, I was gonna say, is
Gary
that
Oldman.
Ray Liotta? When he had
No,
his
it's
brain
Gary
open?
Oldman. Ray Liotta got his brain eaten by Hannibal and a little
while
kid
he's
in the airplane.
while he's awake.
Yeah.
That shit was wild.
He feeds it to him. He feeds
I
him his
know.
own brain.
Oh yeah, fuck, it was wild.
He drools and he doesn't say hi to Clarice, and it's rude. I love that movie
That
too.
is rude.
It's very rude.
It's a great movie.
Having an old friend. That's a good. I mean, all those movies are good. He's the best. He was the best Hannibal.
He's the only Hannibal.
Actually, there was
no, I guess the
Mindhunter,
show.
and then there was the show.
Mindhunter wasn't.
That
Oh yeah,
was.
you're right. You're right.
That was basically Red Dragon. Just
Yeah.
Was Red Dragon.
Yeah.
But there was a Hannibal in there. It was
Brian
a good
Cox.
Hannibal.
Yeah, Brian Cox did that. Brian Cox is great.
He wasn't Hannibal, was he?
Yeah, Brian Cox was Hannibal.
What?
Yeah, that
In-
was Brian
yeah,
Cox
in-
in Manhunter.
In Manhunter.
He yells cocksucker a bunch of times. No, wait, that's a different thing. But yeah, that was Brian Cox. Young,
Yeah.
80s,
It's all
like
coming
80,
back
was it
to
like
me now.
86, something like that? 88.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, Michael Mann.
You know where I
Michael
saw
Mann, baby.
Brian Cox for the first time and like noticed him? He was the dad in 25th Hour. He played
Oh,
Edward
yeah,
Norton's
yeah.
dad. That's when I knew. That's when I was my first Brian Cox experience, where I was like, "Oh, that's that guy." Like if I remember Brian Cox from the beginning, it was always from 25th Hour.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was great in that.
he's a good dad. He's a good, good angry
Super
dad.
Troopers is my go-to.
Yeah, Troopers probably the second. Yeah.
Good one.
Damn,
All
dude,
right.
I'm looking at him right now. Brian Cox, Manhunter. Check it out. 1986.
Dope movie. All right,
All right,
so he's
so- Go ahead. Yeah.
he's awake. He's got the face.
Doctors can't fix it.
Yeah, doctors can't fix it. He's kind of
Great scene though. He's like, guys, find a way. Play a little jazz. He's like, I got the money for it.
Experiment with me. I
Experiment
don't
on me, yeah.
care.
Yeah.
And then
Dude, it
last
sucks
week-
though. He's got those headaches. You know how much that must suck, bro? Fucking
That
feeling
does-
like your
that
head's
does sound
exploding.
bad. It does
That's
sound
got to be
bad.
pretty bad.
They're like, well, we have this mask you can wear if you want.
Yeah.
He's like, this is a fucking mask, dude.
Yo,
I know.
that
That
scene
was
was
great. That
amazing.
scene was good.
That scene was great. I laughed out
They're
loud
like,
when he
"It's
said,
a,
"A fucking
facial. Oh, this a facial prosthetic? Okay, yeah, because I thought I was looking at a goddamn mask.
He says, "Fucking man!" He screams. Jack Nicholson did, dude.
This covers Halloween, but what am I supposed to do with the other 364 days of the year?
Yeah, great scene.
He was mad. I'd be
He's
mad.
mad at the mask. Mad at the mask.
I'd be mad. It's like Schwartz when he woke up from his accident.
Yeah, dude.
So, I mean, it wasn't that bad. Thank
Did you
God.
wish you had? I mean,
It was pretty close.
did you wish you had a mask?
No, I wished I had not a fucking gash in my head though.
Different a forehead mask.
I wish I would. I wish I would have had a seatbelt on. That's for sure.
Upper mask.
Always.
I wish I would have smoked. You know what, Anthony? I wish I would have smoked that J with you. That's what I wish. I think about that sometimes when I think about like my accident. Like every time now and then it'll like reoccur. And I think about like the events that led up to it. And I was like, the only time I've ever like refused, like not even like refused, but it's like, nah, I'm good. I don't need to smoke. And that happened. You know what I mean?
I thought about that, but I never said anything forever until you said it. You said it first, but I had thought about that, but I didn't want to be like, oh, you should have done this and it would have never happened. Like I didn't want to put that out there.
Yeah.
I remember, dude. I remember we got out of the movie. We were going to the parking lot, and I was like, "Car's right here. You want to go smoke real quick?" And you're like, "I parked over here," and I was like, "All right."
Yep. Why would I just not go smoke?
It was late.
On your way.
It was just late. You were in.
But I would
'cause I think you were
normally
in
do it.
Long. Were you in Long Beach? Was
We
that?
were in Long Beach. We were
Yeah.
seeing Sicario 2, Day of the Soldado.
Wish it was a better movie.
Oh, you got the car accident for that movie?
I haven't watched that movie since. I refuse to watch it.
I mean, that's how
not a
things
great
go, you
movie.
know? The little
Great
choices in
poster.
life guide you here. It's like Tom Cruise getting into the car. If you never got into if you never got into that car, this movie wouldn't have
Dude,
fucking
you're
happened
basically
pretty
Tom
much.
Cruise.
Yeah. I'm
basically
fucking
Tom Cruise.
Vanilla Sky.
All right, so
you just got in you just smoked the
Schwartz.
joint, which was Cameron Diaz.
Abierta
he
Los
died.
Ojos, dude.
Almost
Yeah,
died.
dude.
She died. I think they kind of explained that at some point. I think he's
Whoa,
probably
okay,
explaining
so
that to Kurt Russell.
Somebody, he at a certain point he goes, the girl died. I heard we hear that at some point.
and he thinks it's Sophia.
No,
right?
I don't think he
No,
thinks that at first. He's just kind of saying that she died. Well, like he's in that meeting, he does refer to a girl being dead early on, but we don't really know what he's talking about. And when he's talking to Kurt Russell, we just know he's there for attempted murder or something like that. And I think that's kind of when they start making us think that it's probably this part. Like we're thinking at one point that it's Cameron Diaz that he murdered, and that's why he's there.
So confused.
But then
I was so confused. There was toward the end
Still don't know
when
why
they
it's there.
started explaining everything. I was like, "What the fuck?" When they kept. We'll get there.
Yeah.
What?
We'll get there. We'll get there. Where are we? There's a lot now in between now and the end that I.
So
just
basically,
don't
right now,
remember.
he's just really depressed and hating his fucking life because he looks like Quasimodo, and he gets withdrawn, doesn't want to
right.
see anybody.
Yeah.
He
But
stays
eventually
in, he heals up, and how long before he stays in for like years before he goes out?
I'd say probably about. I'd say like
I think
I'd
it
say
was-
like 6 months or
I
something.
think
like
it was
that.
a few months because he was in
Yeah,
a
I'd say
coma
like 6
for.
months.
I think he was in a coma for. Was it 3 weeks or 3 months? He was in a coma, and I think he said a few months went by, and
Yeah,
then
probably
he
6 months.
finally went out to go find Sophia, and she was at some dance studio, and he was all gross
Great
looking.
scene.
Great
and
scene.
he's like, "Yo, we should go meet up sometime. Let's go out." And she's like, "Okay, it'd be good to see you." Blah blah blah. And then
Believed
was
that
great.
scene that she really loved him too.
right,
I love
she was
that
very
scene.
friendly, happy to see each other.
It was because she had probably not seen him since, right?
She says that right there. She's like, I haven't seen you
So,
since.
the-
She
the-
goes, I
her-
tried to see you, but they wouldn't let me.
Her he said he wouldn't let her.
Yeah.
But her reaction to like seeing his face and her non-reaction, essentially, she was just happy to see him again. She didn't
Yeah.
give a fuck about his face when obviously probably all he's thinking about is how hideous he looks.
Yeah.
Right. And
That's a good scene of just showing the reality of shit like that. It's just like,
Yeah.
nobody gives a fuck. Just keep living your life.
Yeah.
And there was one thing we should mention that earlier on when they were like still the first night they met when they were at each other's house or when Tom Cruise was at her house, they saw a thing on the news or some talk show about this dog that was frozen and got brought back to life.
Benny the dog.
Benny the dog, and that's kind of a reoccurring thing. He's kind of seeing commercials about this life extension thing. And it first
Infomercial,
started
right?
from infomercial about, and it kind of starts with the dog. And
Yep.
after he sees her at the studio, he sees the dog on Conan, calls her again, like, "Hey, just saw you, and I just saw the dog on the thing. Been thinking about you. Great
That was a
seeing
weird
you."
conversation.
It was.
I think it was an
him
answering
leaving-
machine
It was just
thing,
him
right?
leaving a voicemail.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then he then will go to the club to meet up with her, and surprise, surprise, she brings Jason Lee, his friend. So it's kind of awkward because he's like expecting to just meet up with her, and
He's got the
Homie's
mask
there.
on.
I'm sure
the mask
he and
on.
I realize at the same time that in this time she's probably still hanging out with this dude. You know, they're probably friends. They're
Yeah,
good
yeah,
friends
yeah.
in the past 6 months.
Yeah, definitely.
And that seems
Yeah,
to
if
be the
Tom
case.
Cruise didn't act weird here, nothing would have been weird.
Would have been
like, you know what I
fine.
mean? Like if he didn't show up with the face mask on and he was just like, "Hey, what's up, guys?" and they all sat down and had a drink, like everything
Why
would
do
have
you
been
think
fine.
he showed up with the what changed?
Dude,
from then to then?
how vain he was, and now he looked like that. That's probably the worst type of thing that could ever happen to someone that vain. What happened to him is like the worst thing.
Why didn't he wear the mask when he went to meet her?
Because it was probably so intimate. I think it was the setting. I think it was a nightclub.
Yeah,
I think it's
so.
people
Just being
seeing
in-
him. Like
being in
people are
public.
gonna be like put off by that, like pretty hardcore. And
He
someone
walked-
being as
he
vain
walked
as he
all
is.
the way to the ballet studio, and everyone
Yeah, but maybe
was
he had the
looking at him
mask
all
on
weird.
before he got there.
When he got in
and
there,
he fucking
everyone was
went in
looking.
there.
He didn't have the mask on when he walked in.
Had
Everyone
like
was
hats
"Who
and
is this guy?"
sunglasses.
He had
before, I think.
sunglasses on and shit. Yeah.
It's partially covered, but I see what you're saying though. Like,
I think the nightclub aspect makes it different because that's where everybody's like trying to look good and fucking like impress and do all that kind of shit. Everyone's just like pretty and handsome and like everybody's trying
he
to
thought
fuck.
people would be cool with it. It was not.
Well, everyone kind of was because no one was really talking to him. The only people who weren't cool with it was her. I think it scared the shit out of her.
and then he got
It
shit
scared the
faced.
fuck out of her.
And then he got shit faced.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean there were the dudes in the bathroom that were like, "Fix your face."
Yeah. Fix your fucking face, man.
But he laughed it off.
I mean,
'cause
you
he was
can't laugh
hammered.
at that.
Yeah.
Especially
Then
when
he
you're drunk.
got kind of awkward, got a little
Yeah.
weird.
Next
Said some shit to both of
scene,
them.
they're all walking out. They're all walking out of the club, right? Like
Yeah.
awkwardly. It just cuts to
Yeah.
them walking out of the club. Like she's in the front, like walking. They're like walking her home, and he's all like hobbling behind him. And they get into a conversation about how like he's gonna walk her to her door and like nod or something like that, and like just let her go. And she just goes in, and they argue. What do they argue about? Jason Lee and him. It's just
I
basically like
think old
friend shit.
Yeah, old
I
shit.
think
Like
just
you
that,
always
yeah.
do this, blah blah blah.
Oh yeah, he hasn't hit him up anymore either. He's like, you haven't called me, like
Yeah.
you don't fucking talk to me, like just because you're all fucking fucked up now doesn't mean we're not friends. Nothing
He said
fucking
he
changed.
He wanted
It's-
the old him back.
And it's also the thing where Julie told him in the car
Fuck
before
buddy.
he ran off the bridge, like, whatever
forgot
his name
that.
is, told
He
me
was-
that we were fuck buddies. And then he's just like, "Did you tell Julie that we were fuck buddies?" And he's just like, "Are you blaming me for your accident?" Kind of. So it was pretty,
Yeah, he's like,
heated,
you've been
kind of a big
harboring
moment.
this all this
Yeah.
time. Like, why is the first time you're bringing this shit up? So that kind of broke into an argument.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jason
that
Lee
was pretty
leaves,
good.
And he passes out on the ground.
He stumbles
Yes.
off, wasted, passes out.
And then since we already talked about it, everyone knows that this is a dream thing. This is the beginning of the dream for sure. This is the lucid dream.
Yeah, and they say that at the end. But we don't know that yet, but they tell us later
Yes.
that this is where the dream starts. Where
Yes.
he Sophia again, the open your eyes moment.
Yep.
She says that
She
to
says
him,
it this time,
passed
yeah.
out on the ground, and suddenly they're in love, like very like
This is
she's
where
happy,
the
you know.
dream starts.
Yeah, this is where the
Yes.
splice happens, and they tell us that later in the movie. So
Yeah.
when you're watching it, you don't know at the time, but you kind of can.
They tell you in the end.
You can kind of tell in hindsight. It's one of
Yeah.
those
Well, there's
rewatch
also
things.
like scenes where he's talking to Sophia
Well, that's the
and
next scene.
she's
Is it?
not there. You know?
Yes.
Is that what you're talking about?
Well, the next scene opens up with him waking up on the street where we see him last, and Sophia wakes up and is like, "Listen, everything's fine. Like we're cool.
Yeah.
Why are you
No, I
being an
remember
asshole?"
that. I think
That's right there.
in the jail cell. I think there's a couple scenes where he's seemingly talking to Sophia and she's like there,
yeah.
and then she's not there.
Yeah, that's just like him hallucinating or just wanting
Yes.
to thinking about her in
Yeah.
memory. Because the whole jail thing, all that jail shit happens
In the dream.
at the end of the dream, or post all this shit. Like the whole jail cell thing is part of the dream.
Yes, the subconscious is making the jail cell
But-
dream thing.
The continuation.
What I just said made absolutely zero sense.
Yeah.
So-
Because
What I meant to say
up until this
linearly, it's
point-
confusing because the jail cell thing, it's like you think.
It's part of the dream.
It's starting before the dream starts.
Yes,
No.
yeah. Well, you see it before visually.
That's what
We
I mean.
see it, but
Yes.
in the chronologically, it does technically start later, and we kind of just catch up to it.
Yes.
But that's what makes this movie more confusing, of course.
Kurt
because it's-
Russell's character
order
is a
a bit.
product of Tom Cruise's
Cruise.
subconscious. Like he's part of his dream. The whole thing in the interrogation is part of the dream. Yeah.
But realistically, everything is after this point in
Yes.
the film.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Because when they explain it at the end, they explain his timeline of you woke up, you went. Did they say you woke up, you went out, you tried to reconnect, and it didn't work, and then you did this?
Yeah, he chose that moment of him waking up
He just
on the
chose that
street
moment.
to her being there with him, and essentially they're after that they're in love. After that moment, everything goes well. After that moment, he has the
His face
surgery.
changes,
His
yeah.
face is good.
Yeah.
They're in love. The whole continuation of like the love thing happens, and he's seemingly better because his face and the love, and it's all good.
Okay, but he killed himself.
Yes. You find
Yes.
that, and then they freeze
Find
him.
out that later, yeah.
Yeah.
Do we need to wait for that? Because this is where I'm confused.
No, he kills himself in real life, and
To be
there's some.
frozen.
There's still his life continues after that moment where he falls asleep on the gutter. But from what we see in the movie at this point, it's the dream. But they do go back to that and explain that his life just sucked. That was the last time he saw Sophia.
Okay, but technically
shit
we
never
don't know
got
it's
any
a dream
better.
at this point.
He didn't have any surgery. His face was still fucked up. He was still like shit just went bad, and eventually he found life extension, signed a contract with them, and then just killed himself so he could just dream instead of living the shitty life that he was having. And that's explained
Yep.
at the end when he's on the fucking roof with that dude.
With the tech support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this whole like everything
shit, what
going
happens
well
up
and
to
the
that
and the
point?
good face.
So-
Eventually it gets to them where she
The
kinda,
rest of the movie is just like the love story, them hanging
Yeah.
out and falling in love.
the long-
And I
yeah,
think
it's a
that's why
long
some
love
people
story
don't like
stuff.
this movie, is because it just goes from like that to this, and it's just like more of what they had in the beginning. I think it slows down for people, and I could
A
see
bit,
it. Like it's a
yeah.
little slow. I could see it, but I never didn't enjoy it. But it is a little slow
You don't
in
enjoy
this
it
part.
because there's always that second like thing of
Kurt Russell
him
shit.
talking to Kurt Russell. It's always
Yeah.
like, well, there's something else going on here
Yeah.
that we're not fully aware of.
And I think the connection and the chemistry between the cruises was really good. So they're kind of like worth watching. You know what I mean? Like they really do feel like they're connecting in a lot of ways.
Yes.
So that's what
other
happens. They
notable
go
scenes?
deeper. They go deeper in the love, and then what happens to turn it backwards? I forget now.
It's just he suddenly starts hallucinating, and like I don't know hallucinating. We find out it's basically glitching and becoming a nightmare.
Oh,
and he
yeah.
at one point in the night looks in the mirror and his face is fucked up again.
Yeah.
And then he like gets freaked out, and then he goes to the bed,
And
and
it's
then
not
he's
Sophia,
cool.
it's Julie.
And then
Yeah.
and eventually she turns into Julie.
And-
No,
and
this
then
is the
in a
same in
lot-
the other movie. This happens in the other movie, just like that.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's the same. Like they fall in love, and then
No,
he
but I'm
sees
saying
the face.
he pays for the dream thing.
Yeah, it's all the
Okay,
same.
okay.
It's all.
Along-
It's very very similar.
Along the way, we keep seeing this guy too, this kind of weird-looking British dude that tries to talk to him every now and then, and seems like he gives him advice every now and then, but he just doesn't know who he is. So he's just writes him off as just a kind of a weirdo.
Yeah, and I think that bar scene happens after because the first time he sees basically Cameron Diaz as the new Sophia, and she's very adamant, like I'm Sophia, like pleading, and then
Yeah,
he
this is
basically
where I was just
ties her
like,
up, beats her up, and then the police and his lawyers are all like, "This is what you did," and shows her a picture of her. It's like, "This is Sophia." He's like, "No, that's Julie Gianni." It's like, Julie Gianni's dead, dude. Even like Jason Lee's like, "No, I talked to her. She
Yeah,
like,"
Sophia's
and he's
the one
like,
that told me this.
yeah, so everyone is seeing Sophia as Sophia, but he's still like, that's this different girl. It's clearly a different person. And
Is everyone seeing Sophia as Sophia, or is everyone seeing Sophia as Cameron Diaz?
I mean, that's Sophia to everyone but him. So I
Cameron
guess they're-
Diaz is.
Yeah. At this point, Cameron Diaz is Sophia. Because we come to find out it was basically just a glitch and it was like they fucked up in tech support. But everyone's seeing that. So it's becoming a nightmare. And there's the bar scene where the dude is like, you just need to relax, take control of everything. Everything's going to be fine.
Yeah,
and that
then
kind
he
of
inceptioned
freaks
it.
him out. Yeah. But I think then he goes back to the apartment and it's still Cameron Diaz.
And he
And he's
chokes her
just-
out and kills
It's
her.
like, what the fuck? But then, no, but at one point, briefly,
We
He
all need a girl
suffocates
like
her.
that, dude.
well, briefly, Penelope Cruz comes back, and they're
Yeah.
like, "Okay, cool," and then they start making love again. And then when
Making
that's
love.
happening, when they fucking, she turns back to Cameron Diaz again.
Oh shit, switcheroo. Not a
What
bad deal.
What a
Darn.
rough, I know. What
Darn.
a
Every
rough
Darn.
fucking
fucking
change,
night,
it's like,
dude.
ooh, yeah.
Yeah, suddenly it's a different hot girl. Like, well, what are you
It's not
gonna
like
do?
it's turning into Lizzo. This is good
Yeah.
times.
And then he pillows her.
Yeah,
and
gives her the
then
old
we're
pillow.
Pillows her, yeah.
then we're basically, I feel like we're basically caught up to the psychologist scene where we're in the Kurt Russell world.
Yeah.
And then he's kind of finally like admitting and coming to terms with like, well, I don't feel like I killed someone, but I did, and
Yeah, I definitely, I definitely. It's like I guess it's like you ever wake up from a dream that's real fucked up and you feel fucked up.
every day.
Yeah, you're like and it like there's sometimes I wake up and it takes me a minute to be like, what am I so worked up about? It was that fucking dream I had, which was all fake, and like I can kind of work myself down. But man, sometimes I'll wake up and be like, man, like why did I do that in the dream?
Sometimes things in dreams happen where people you're really close to and it's different in the dream and you think it's going to be like that and you wake up and you realize, oh my God, it was just a dream. And then it still has effects on you afterward. That happens a lot to me too.
So that's where so he's he woke up. He knows something's wrong. He knows somebody died. That's the feeling he can't shake.
Yeah. And but he also, this is where he sees the infomercial on the TV in the cell and he knocks on it for the dog.
Yeah.
And then he tells Kurt Russell and then Kurt Russell takes him to the building.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't that how they get to life
Pretty much,
extension?
pretty much like the
With
whole realization he
with
did kill
old
Sophia.
Mikey Shannon.
Oh,
Yeah,
Michael
Michael
Shannon.
Shannon.
Yeah, he's the
Mikey
guard.
Shannon.
He's the guard throughout
Yeah.
the wole movie. The
He's
whole
just
time,
hanging out in the corner.
which is great.
He's like, you're going to get yours, you fucking daddy's boy.
Yeah,
He's just, dude, it's classic.
Great
I love
Michael Shannon. Yeah.
it's hanging.
So they go to in a whatever it's called.
L.E.
LE
Life extension.
and then they get the whole Total Recall talk down, right?
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah,
I've
basically.
I've been here before, and then they break it down for him. He's like, oh, this is what's going on,
Now,
and then he
am
just
I-
starts
am I-
freaking out.
Am I
Go
right
ahead.
in thinking as he's walking down the aisle and he's seeing the other people that are also like testimonials? Are those the 7?
I don't
Wait, what? What are you
think
talking about?
so.
So there's a point where they're explaining to him what's going on and like what the thing is.
On the roof? We're on the roof now?
No, they're going through
Still in the office.
the building. Like they're in the office. They went to the office and he's explaining to him what it is, what life extension is, and basically like what he signed up for.
Okay.
They're walking through a hallway, and on the side there's screens that have people on them with testimonials for their life extension. I'm wondering if that was the 12. Maybe that's who. I don't know. That I thought it was, but it was toward the it was at the end, and I was like, I'm not gonna rewind it to see.
You're talking about the 7 dwarfs.
The 7, yeah, the 7 dwarves.
The 12 is from Killing Eve.
I don't know if it's them, but
Maybe not.
Maybe it's hard. I don't know.
didn't
Yeah,
catch
I don't
that at
remember.
all.
Yeah, there's a lot of details in this thing that
Yeah, not saying
that could
it's
work.
not right, yeah.
Definitely could be. I just don't specifically remember that. But but it is all like his memories. It's not like a real place. It's like because he's been there before, so he can build that shit in his mind, and it's just kind of it is very confusing because like why would he be there? And
But
his dreams,
let's
he's
talk
also-
about this real quick. Did the 12? No, they didn't actually. That's a dumb question. They didn't have anything to do with him getting in the thing with Cameron Diaz. But like, do you think they would have
No.
tried to kill him if that didn't happen?
I don't really think so. I think he was just paranoid that
was
was the
paranoia.
case, and he was worried that like they put Cameron Diaz there and that they were responsible. He was like blaming them for all this weird
Yeah.
shit before he kind of came to terms with it.
Yeah.
And then he realized like, oh, this is not even. I'm just dreaming. This isn't even real.
It's just subconscious fucking with him, basically.
Yeah.
Word.
It's your pride fucking with you.
Fuck Brad.
Fuck pride. All right,
Your ass goes down in the 10th, or what does he say?
where are we at?
This is pretty much.
he freaks out, runs
let's-
out of the meetings and
Let's
shit.
explain exactly what happened then.
All right, in the life support place or life extension.
Yeah, like what did he do? What did he do when he did? Because at this point, it lays it all out.
Okay, so during that whole depressive state after all that shit goes down, he signs a contract of life extension, which is him being frozen after he dies, and his mind is basically it's like a simulation of dreams. And
Yeah.
his,
So in his journey
dreaming.
to fix himself, one of the doctors that he's paying probably billions of dollars came up to him and was like, "Yo, this ain't exactly what you're looking for, but this is an option that we can do from a German scientist. They're doing this over there, blah blah blah." And he kind of like, so he kind of found like that was a new option to him based on like everything he was. That's kind of what happened, right?
I think he just
No,
found
that-
this shit online. Like he found it on the internet.
No,
Like, he was-
so no. He found the life extension and the commercial. But what Anthony, what you're talking about is in his dream state, the way that they justified him being able to fix his face was that they found that surgeon. That was from before. Remember when he's with Penelope Cruz and he gets his face fixed? Like that was in his dream. That never happened. That's how they did it. Yeah, that was just in the dream. That's what you're talking about.
Because realistically, he never fixed his face.
He never
like,
fixed his face.
His
No,
shit
yeah,
just got
I
worse.
know that. I just,
Yeah.
I kind of conflated.
You just mix it up.
Like,
Yeah, you just mix it
yeah.
up. No, at this point, basically what happens is they just tell him that he signed up for this life extension thing where he freezes them and his mind just gets played into dreams. And when the technology exists to fix him, I guess if they can open him up, right? Or
Well,
fucking,
it was two things. I think it's just like cryogenic whatever, where they freeze you and they can reanimate you later. And then this was like, if you pay extra, we can just send you into a dream. It's like a new thing we have where you can just live your dream, lucid dreaming.
Yeah.
oh, I didn't
Tilda
get the extra
Swenson
part.
explained that. You're right. I
Yeah,
do remember
that was like
So
a
it was
new-
like that was
it
an
like
extra thing.
Yeah, it was like an
Yeah.
add-on.
So otherwise, he would have just been sleeping.
Frozen, yeah.
Yeah,
It
just
would just
cryo.
been waiting to be
How
reanimated.
can
in the
you
future.
not? And that makes it even more interesting. It's like it's a glitch in like a new technology. That's cool.
Yeah, because they referred to it as a glitch, and then that
Damn,
is
I never
the
even
whole
because I didn't pick up on that. I
nightmare
never
thing.
thought of it. That's how simple it is. It's
Yeah,
just it's a glitch in a new
It's like
technology.
the
That's awesome.
Matrix.
Yeah, simulation shit, dude.
There's a lot like the Matrix, Total Recall. There's a
Yeah.
lot of like
Sure.
a lot of similar.
Done in a very different way though, sets it apart. Like I think Cameron Crowe did a pretty good job of making like almost like a dramatic comedy, a dramatic romantic comedy that just had a little sci-fi flair. You know what I mean? That was pretty good. But I mean, I guess
Yeah.
he just remade the other movie. But
And
the
really,
other movie,
well, true,
was
it's
the
not his
tone of the
idea.
other movie as much of a love story as this? Like, is it love story the same amount in the other movie between Penelope and him?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, that was
I
like
gotta think that's one
that
of
was
the
like
points.
the driven. That was the main.
Yeah.
Like that love story was the.
Was
the
she
core
just
of
as
it
good
all.
in that one as she was in this one, or is she better because she was speaking Spanish?
They were. I think there was
Spanish to me,
parts
baby.
where she was actually better in the Cameron Crowe one, but I think that was just probably experience and maybe a second chance.
direction.
I think that and there's a couple lines and moments where it was just like she added a little bit like of levity to her character.
Sure.
Where like maybe she was a little bit more like a little more down to earth or a little more grounded in the original because she had that like kind of like pixie fun girl in this one. Not that she wasn't in the other one, but I think she was just a little bit more grounded, slightly. But if there was much of a difference.
It seemed like
Okay.
I don't know, grounded, but I guess when there's certainly a turning point when it turns into a dream. Like she definitely she changes a little bit.
She does, and that's almost more noticeable in the original because I think they're trying to make it more like that shift in his life to get suddenly everything's getting better was a little bit more noted, and they
You
even
feel like that was on purpose. They were trying to hide that a little more.
I think so, and they even say it in that voiceover because he's like, I was even suspicious that my life was getting so better, but I just accepted it for what it was. And so I think they were kind of hinting at it a little bit harder in the original. I don't know. There was one specific scene, just comparing the Penelope Cruz performances, was when he was getting when his face was fixed. There was like a line that she did where she was like, "Oh, your ears are in the right place, but everything's not bad." Like that was like she kind of added more like of a comical response to it, opposed to like, "Oh my God, I love you so much. It's so much better." Like it was. This was just a little bit of different approach to like the same sequence.
To me, it sounds like Cameron Crowe gave her that direction.
Probably there was again like this was a funner movie, if that makes sense. Where that one was a little bit more dramatic.
This is almost like a
eerie.
rom-com in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it had that that feel,
but
to
like a
it, for
dark
sure.
version. Like I called it a dark com before. I don't know if you picked up on that. I thought that was kind of funny.
And I think the original was a little bit darker in tone.
Yeah.
Not like again super similar movies, but
Yeah.
just a little bit tonally darker because the soundtrack of Cameron Crowe's made this like fun at times.
Yeah.
That whole that rock and roll vibe was like more present, and then just the
So in the other one, it was more like tones, like dark tones and shit, or not?
kind
really?
of more traditional like
That's
tony
that's
stuff.
a total different tone of a movie, right?
For sure.
Yeah,
And Tom Cruise was very like boisterous and very like flamboyant. Not that guy wasn't. He was like young, fun-loving, but he wasn't like Tom Cruise over the top. Like
Yeah.
you know, he was like still a playboy, still a cool guy, but he was no Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Just subtle things with characters and things like that. But it was both obviously basically the same script, both great. I like both a lot.
Yeah.
So he's like, let's go back to what he was doing. He was
I
going
really
deeper
got
and
through
deeper into depression. Did he get his board seat back, or did he Lose it. I think
He-
his
I
friend.
think he lost
his dad,
it. I
His
think-
old dad's friend didn't.
He helped him.
Didn't he help him
In the dream, I think he got it back. In the dream, he
not
got
in
it
real
back.
life?
In real life, the shit got worse and worse, and he lost his spot on the board, and then he killed himself.
Oh,
He
in
took
the
pills and killed
dream, he got
himself.
it back. So the
Yeah.
scene where his dad's old friend was would like that's where he showed him, and he was like, "Welcome back to the board." That was the dream.
That was dream. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like
Fun
his
fact,
face
that
was
guy
fixed.
is-
He
I
got the
don't know.
girl, got his face fixed, he got his company back, and the real life, all that shit went away.
Yeah.
So he killed himself, rightfully
So yeah,
so.
so he found he found them online. Figured he'll just kill himself.
Well, he didn't get him online. He saw the infomercial.
Sorry,
Well, I guess there was a scene where he was like very quick, like
I
researching him
heard it
online.
said
but
online.
I think
I remember it
he
said
did
online,
say
too.
something online.
Oh,
I
yeah.
saw the infomercial at the end.
They
Then he
they
went to
showed the
online,
infomercial
yeah.
like 3 times. They showed it with him by himself, with her and
Right.
him, and then with him without her. Like we should keep seeing that. The buddy.
Well,
the,
it was
the
it was
dog
both.
thing.
Yeah, it was both.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. But yeah,
The dog thing wasn't.
That was life extension.
We never saw like.
Oh
the-
no, it wasn't because he just
no, the
he
dude,
found him
the
in the
dude
fucking
on the thing.
yeah
had a
yeah.
Life
No,
extension
I
shirt
forgot. Yep.
on Conan. He had an LE shirt.
Yeah, he told he's
But we
found a
never
dog
see
in the
like
ice.
life extension it like we do at the
Not
end.
no,
Yeah,
it's
you're
not.
right.
It's not
Right.
explained. It's just
Yeah,
in
yeah,
there,
yeah.
but it's not. We don't know
Sure,
what
you
it is.
see it on a second watch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's it's one of them.
I love the fact that Steven Spielberg was wearing a pre-crime hat. That's still my favorite
was
part of
funny.
this whole podcast. That's so cool.
And that movie came out right after this one.
Yeah.
I think it was like 02 or 03, something like that. They made it.
So
after.
he
They made it
basically
right
like
after.
left set, went home for like a couple weeks, and then went to shoot that.
Minority Report, killing it.
Yeah.
It's good
Yeah.
era, good cruise era.
So the realization is he did kill someone,
Himself.
and it was himself.
I think that was a line in the movie. I did kill someone. Someone did
I guess
die.
so,
Me. I think that
So
was
he
the line.
killed himself. He chose the moment, like you said, after he passed out on the ground. From that
Yep.
point on, is going to be.
That was probably, in my opinion, what he probably thought was the lowest point that he could get, and that was probably where he wanted to pick up to like to the goodness. You know what I mean?
So he's basically at this point, he's Joey Pants going, ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, eating the steak, harp in the background. Yeah.
That's a Matrix reference, Jake.
You ever seen The Matrix,
I got
dude?
it. I've seen The Matrix. Just the
He didn't
first one,
react.
the
I
only
like
one.
A little bigger reaction.
Oh wow, he did see it. I see it now.
Now he's on the roof with is his
Tech support.
Is his dad's friend there? No, his dad's friend's gone.
His dad's friend.
David.
No, that lawyer guy.
or the lawyer guy.
Tips.
Oh, the lawyer.
His name was Tip or Tips.
I'll tell you
Tips.
one thing is his name was Peter Pettigrew in Harry Potter.
Peter Pettigrew. Who gives a shit?
Thomas Tip. There it is.
Thomas Tip was
Oh, is
Peter
that-
Pettigrew. He played a rat for like
Peter
2 years.
Pettigrew.
He was Ron's rat for like
Got
a
him.
year. It was crazy.
Fuck Ron and his rat. Peter Pettigrew.
Mr. Scabbers.
Mr. Sandman.
They're on the roof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tech support.
Tech support's on the roof. We've explained
Basically
that
explains everything we just explained.
Pretty much, pretty
Basically
much.
tells him what happened.
He in this new experimental thing. There has been a glitch that is turning your really awesome dreams into nightmares.
Yep.
AKA
And that's what the
Total
whole
Recall.
movie's been.
And we learned that this is 150 years later.
Yeah, 150 years in the future.
Oh, fuck,
Kind
I
of
forgot.
is also that makes me ask
That makes
some
what he did
questions,
kind of dumb.
But yeah,
I would have just stayed in that fucking dream, baby. I want Penelope.
right.
So
I know, right? Because I question whether or not he's done this before. Is this a reoccurring
Oh,
thing?
this is like
'Cause if it's
Inception.
150 years, like how many times could he have like lived that life, or was it just?
I think
it
this
just
was.
150 years later
I
and
think
just
this is
kinda
the first
started?
time. I think this is the
that
first time.
kind of
this
makes
happened.
sense because maybe
Yeah.
if they didn't have that technology yet, eventually, because I think Tilda Swinton explained they were developing it.
Yeah.
So maybe I guess that there question asked,
it's
question solved.
possible that in that technology that you can live 1 year in 100 years. You know, whatever. It's all in your head
Yeah,
at that point.
it's all
Yeah.
It's like
yeah.
it's like doing DMT.
Yeah, I just keep going back to Penelope.
So okay, so
Yeah.
he's given the choice. Do you to renew the contract and
Well,
and
he
like
says
up-
to him. Sorry.
no right he's gonna fix the glitch right and you can go back.
But no,
and-
but he also says to him if he stays in the world instead of going back, that like his money won't go far anymore because things have changed, and like he doesn't really know anybody because it's so much later. So you're just like, why the fuck would you stay there?
Like, but you can fix that fucked up face.
Yeah, they did say that.
Not in those words exactly, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
what happened? Did he go
He
back? Or
jumped.
did he yeah. What does that mean? Did he?
That means he woke up and he woke up. They fixed his face and eventually he died of old age.
Yeah, the jump symbolizes that jolt out
He-
of the nightmare.
Yeah, when he opened his eyes, he opened it up. That was him
He's
waking
like,
up out of
or
the
you
frozen.
can
Austin
or you can
Powers
go over there.
style.
Yeah, you can take the elevator down and get back into a dream, or you can jump off this shit.
And he had to jump because he had
And
a fear of
that'll-
heights.
That'll wake you back up.
Yeah.
And then he did that after saying goodbye to a fake Penelope Cruz on the rooftop,
which was a great scene. The Sugar
Yeah.
Ross music, dude. Oh my god, it was just like
and the comic relief of Kurt Russell being like, "I'm real,
I'm real, I'm fucking real,
come
I'm
on,
real."
if you,
That was fun.
come please."
Yeah, Kurt Russell, man.
Yeah, so we jumped, and
Let's get-
you gotta open your eyes again at the very end.
Okay.
What would you have done, Anthony? You jump or you fucking taking the elevator down? I'm taking the elevator down, baby.
Yeah,
dude.
I'm
Let's
going
go back to the
elevator.
Penelope and
what,
those titties, dude. Come on.
So what's like if we're gonna say that he overcame something and he's a better person because of that? Is he better for? Because I guess he did that in like a cowardice way. Like he didn't want to feel the way he felt anymore, so he decided to do the life extension thing for 150 years, and now he's like, is he a better man for not doing that? I guess is my
We're not
question.
doing what?
For not going back into the dream. Like, did he overcome something from jumping off other than a fear of heights?
I guess maybe he let go of the fact that he lost her and that he always wanted to have her, but that's not really how it was meant to be. Maybe.
Okay.
He just wants to
Maybe
live
that.
That's kind of where I'm struggling too, because like, where does this character evolve ever, or is he just kind of
Want to see him
still
I want to see
going,
him the rest of his
you know?
life. I want to see how he plays the rest of his life.
I
out.
think we should write the third one where they're both cats and we get them to voice the fucking cats, animated cats. That'd be great.
Is there a second one?
No, we just go straight to the third. I
Little
like her
Sky
line
3.
in this movie. Was the line in this movie in the other movie where she says every passing minute is another chance to turn it all around? So that was a pretty great line. I remember loving that line. That's a pretty great
Don't
line.
recall that line.
That's a good one.
I don't even recall her saying the cats line. I feel like they might have not had that. There's definitely like
It's a cruise thing.
little
It's like, we'll be
little spruced up,
cats.
like little, but some dialogue was almost the same. Some will, obviously changed because it's a different movie. But
Cameron Crowe's a good writer of dialogue, so that's probably why.
yeah, they just added, they fluffed up the movie a little bit. They added some stuff.
Yeah. Jerry Maguire is
Americanized
probably his best work. That was a great movie.
I still like Almost Famous a lot. I feel like
Yeah,
it
it's
didn't
Almost Famous is great, but
age as
Jerry
much, but
Maguire
I
is
did love.
amazing.
And I liked it. I really liked this when it came out. I was very into this movie.
This is a great
And
movie.
and I haven't watched it in a long time. And I do really enjoy this movie still.
This is definitely a movie made for people who like movies, though. It's about 30 minutes. You could cut 20 minutes out of this movie and it'd be just as good. I'll admit that. But like, I like this movie for everything that it is. Like, I don't want him to cut 20 minutes out of this movie, but you could.
That's what the original
What would you
did.
cut out?
Probably more of the love stuff. Like after he wakes up again and it's dream with her, like there's another like 25 minutes of like them just being in love again. And I probably would have like cut that down to like 10 minutes as opposed to 25. Probably would cut like 15 minutes of that.
Cameron Crowe was just like, oh, but the dialogue I wrote is so good for this.
The dialogue's great, and you do feel like they're in love. But I know this is the thing. I say I would probably do that. I probably wouldn't do that actually, because the movie he wanted to make was a love story and showing people in love. So I probably wouldn't. But that's where you could cut it. That's probably how you would call it trimming the fat if you had to. You know what I mean? If the studio was like, well, the movie was 2 hours and 15 minutes. If they were like, it's got to be an hour 55 or an hour 50, that's what you would cut. You know?
Do you think that their love was so believable because they fell in love for real?
Maybe.
Is that like that happens on movies?
She was so hot. I mean, it happened to Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie.
What's the movie with Lady Gaga and the dude that
Bradley Cooper?
Yeah, didn't they fuck on that?
A
movie?
Star is Born.
No, I don't think they ever.
They didn't.
Pretty sure he
That-
got
I
divorced
mean-
right after they did that VMA.
I mean, that did happen.
Did they? Oh, I didn't realize he got divorced.
You
for
think
a
it was
second.
that performance that
Just saying, did you see
with
it?
icing on the cake or
Did you see
the
it?
I saw the
exclamation point?
performance. The performance was hot.
This
But-
performance was good.
Yeah, low, dude. They were.
Oh, no, I know. The chemistry
I saw
was
that
there.
performance, and I went like this. They fucked.
Uh-oh.
Those two.
Did you ever see
They
his
fucked.
ex-wife? His ex-wife makes
characters
Lady
did.
Gaga look like a fucking horse in a carriage.
Yeah, he shouldn't
Irania
have fucked-
Shank
he shouldn't
is
have
so
fucked
hot.
Gaga.
Yeah. Well,
shouldn't
Gaga's hot as fuck though. She's got
shouldn't
that
have fucked
aura
Joker
about her.
too, dude.
Dude, Joker 2 looks pretty fun.
She's only hot because she's famous and talented. Like, if she was not, like, look at her, like, you see high school pictures of her. She's an uggo.
She is pretty talented.
She's talented. She's talented as fuck. She's an uggo, dude.
She's pretty talented. She's gonna be good as Harley Quinn.
Just kidding. I love it. I love the Gaga. If you're listening, I didn't mean any of that.
He just thinks we should
All right.
run it back.
New ratings. What is your new rating, Schwartz?
I'm gonna go 7.5.
Okay.
What was it before?
7.5.
Stuck with 7.5. I'm gonna bump it up to 7.4.
I thought you did 7.7.
I did 7.
No.
I thought you said 7.7.
Okay.
I think
I wrote
think
7.
you said
I think that I
yeah,
repeated
said
myself.
7
My
twice.
bad.
Yes, you
I was
did.
just.
Yeah.
It was 7. Now it's.
You went like
7.4.
this. You went 7, 7. I was like, all right, so 7.7, 7.7.
Sorry for the confusion.
I'll bump mine up to a 6. I'll give it another point.
Okay. No, Anthony, you like. I personally think if you get a 6.2 or better, that you've done a really, really, really amazing job on your movie. Even maybe a 6, actually. But you seem to think that it's a D, which I don't agree with. Like, I get that in the traditional grading system that's what it is, but that's not how I look at it. So why do you like this movie a lot and think that it was really interesting and like the characters and find it really believable, but still only give it a quote unquote D? What's that reason? I'm just curious because that's kind of surprising to me.
Yeah, six is a good score.
Oh, okay. I didn't think you thought that way. Yesterday, when I gave Twisters a 7.7, you were like, "What? You already gave it a
C
7.7?"
plus. That's pretty good.
It's only when you do it.
Yeah, it's only what I do.
It's only when you do it. It's wrong.
Yeah, I guess
Only
so.
because it doesn't matter. Because it doesn't matter. That's why the scores don't matter. We don't have any real way of scoring them. So
No, but I know, but like to even score, and you give Twister an 8, I think it was, but like this movie had a lot more substance, and you definitely acknowledged that, and even like said that you really liked it, but you give it a 6. I just didn't know. I just don't know how your rating
maybe
system
like
is
6.05.
rating. I guess you're not. You're basically no comment, is what you're saying. You're not going to dive deeper into that.
You're asking me why I like Twister better than this movie?
I'm asking you why
More tornadoes.
No, I'm not asking you why you like Twister. I'm asking you why, like, after all the acknowledgments you gave this movie and how much you seem to generally like this movie and how much like this is a good movie, how you
I only gave it 1 point less than you.
Okay.
All right. I like it a little less than you like it, I guess.
All right, fine. Okay. Whatever. He doesn't want to dive deeper.
Whatever, dude.
I don't
He's a
understand the
deep dive.
question.
How do we get our numbers?
Yeah, like your criteria for Twister is that like it's just a cool movie, you like tornadoes, as opposed to all the great filmmaking and acting and like music and everything like that just doesn't add up to Twisters being cooler to visually watch. That's what you're saying?
I'd rather watch Twister than this movie.
Interesting. Okay. Answer my question.
Fair. Yeah, makes sense.
Fair. Okay. That was a great answer. I just needed to clarify that.
If we were to put a movie on tomorrow and I had those
It's
choices,
not gonna. It's gonna be
I'm
Twister.
throwing
over
on
this.
Twister, dude.
All right, cool.
I might throw on Twister anyway.
He might be watching Twister right now.
I
I
got
just
Twister
don't know.
playing right here.
Which would you rather watch, this or Twister?
Me?
Yes.
Like right now, or just in
Right.
general?
In
it has
general.
to. Like the answer is always the same.
Generally.
Yeah. The answer's always the same.
That's. I mean, that's a fair
Or no,
question.
just
'cause I
right
feel
now.
Like it can
Just
depend
right
on-
now.
It can depend
Right
on-
now, in this moment, I would watch this movie. But if you ask me like 6 days from now if I want to watch this movie or Twister, I don't know. Right now, it would be this movie.
It's fair. It could change.
Yeah, it could change. Because Twister is
I
just
guess
like
some are more
mindless
general,
fun.
yeah.
Like
True.
this is like a really cinematic, like well thought out movie.
True. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's a good answer.
Twister's just cinematic, of course, but it's just different. It's like mindless. You don't need to. Twisters you
Yeah.
can throw on anytime and be like, oh, this is that F3 or this is F2. Where this movie,
I would rather
you'd be
watch
like,
this than Twisters.
Well, yeah, I'd hope you'd rather watch Cannibal Holocaust than Twisters. Otherwise, we got to stop this podcast.
I gotta see that. I gotta watch that one again.
Cannibal
I'd rather
Holocaust.
watch Twisters than Cannibal Holocaust.
That's it. You're out of the podcast, Jake. Call Davidson. He's in.
All right.
That's it.
Well, thanks for listening to another episode of Making Me Watch Movies.
Say goodbye to Jake. He's done.
Recently voted the not the worst podcast all about movies.
Who voted that?
Davidson, Matthew Davidson.
Oh, yeah,
Shout out to Matt
Davidson.
Raleigh, North Carolina.